Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey and that resolves, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Combrei mid-range Armory deck that I found on Eternal Warcry. It did make a couple of changes, but I will link to the original deck list in the comments or the description down below. So one thing I wanted to start doing with these videos is to start giving you like a budget version of the deck, like at the end of the video. But as this is a Combrei deck and it requires a lot of legendaries just to be able to work as is, I don't think we're going to be able to do that for this video. But sort of all videos going forward, I'm hoping that is something that we will be able to do, especially if it's anything like aggressive or things where there's like, well, here's like a second best or like a rare version of that card that you could use. Would like to be able to do that just so that some of the decks are a little bit more accessible, because I do need to be mindful that, you know, I've been playing since the closed beta, so I just have the collection of everything. So I think I started this new set of like 300,000 Shiftstone and over 100 packs, so I was just able to build everything on day one. But other people who are maybe free to play or new players might not have had those opportunities, so I do need to be mindful of that, trying to make accessible content. But anyway, that's enough of that spiel. What does this deck do? So this is a control deck, and the whole idea is to kind of win the game with some of these really huge threats like the Ageworn Vestige, Sword of the Sky King, or the Grodov Stranger. So one thing that's making this a real big win condition is the Pillar of Progress. So Pillar of Progress, it's like a ramp spell like Lost Scroll, Power Stone, but it's got a secondary line of text, which is whenever you play a relic weapon, it gets an additional point of attack. So that's really impressive with Ageworn Vestige, because we can turn this into very easily like a 5/9, and at the point where this has got 1 or 2 extra points of damage, that's like a really quick clock to put your opponent on, as well as just being able to chew through a lot more units than it otherwise could. I really like Ageworn Vestige because not only does it just gain you a bunch of lives, but it's often able to just be additional copies of Shen-Ra Speaks, well, without the kicker. It's able to just end the game if you've got a couple of Pillar Progresses in play. So we do also have Solid Sky King, which is another huge donger, but that is a little bit less impressive with Pillar Progress because it's already hitting for 8 and probably killing your opponent in 3 turns. Giving it an additional 1 or 2 points probably doesn't do very much, but I mean, it's better than nothing. I would take it, though. At that point, I would prefer the hammer, realistically. So left in like the Calibrate Scaffold are really impressive. We do have like nearly 40 hits for them. So Calibrate is just going to mostly be a Seek Power that is a split card that is able to hit us attachments when we need them, if we want them. I also have Seek Answers, which is going to be pretty much the same. It's a slightly more expensive Seek Power, but it's got the modal feature where you're able to just like select a random other card instead. Crack the Earth is our market card. Obviously the Justice market card not very good here because we don't want to be giving like our opponents random units flying, and we don't have very many units of our own. But Crack the Earth can do 2 things, and the first thing is it can fetch Ark of Sol, which is like a free card for us, so that will help us ramp up. It'll fix our influence because we do need triple Justice at some point, and we do have a requirement for double time. So the rest of the market cards all have to cost 5 because we are using the Crack the Earth. So I decided on Ancient Excavator because it will just draw a Relic from our Void, which is nice because it'll, if we've got like say a 5/9 Ageworn Vestige, you know, we kill it because we've just attacked for a bunch of opponent's units. If we play again and we've got 2 Pillar Progresses, and again, it will get the buff again, turn at points it's a 7/9, so it's basically like Sword of the Sky King at that point. We've got Grodov's Burden. This was in the original deck list, and this is basically a card draw engine that when you play it is hopefully going to also be a removal spell, and then we're also going to pay 5 to draw a card. All of our units are single faction, so it will play them if we draw them, which I guess is potentially awkward sometimes, but mostly it's just going to be like pay 5, draw a card, which is what we want. Stronghold Visage is just a generically good card. The availability of what you can put in a Combrei 5-cost market is not excellent. I'm not going to lie there. But Stronghold's Visage can be really helpful. Boost you up a load of armor, and then by the time you play one of your weapons, you've just got like a huge buffer on there. Swimper Sauropod is just like, if you need to play 2 threats, then, you know, we've just traded like a random power whatever into 2 threats. That is often just be able to shut the door against a lot of units. I guess if we had like multiple Crack the Earths, we could pop them in and out, but that's unlikely because we're not like the Throne days where you're playing like 8-12 merchants. We do only have access to 4 Crack the Earths. So I didn't change very much about this deck list. It was mostly just the market. I think I twiddled with the power base a little bit too. Put some more justice sources in, just because we do really need the triple justice. And then we've got the Heed's Distillation, which is just a draw free. In a control deck, I like draw frees. Often this will cost 4 because we do have some like rubbishy units like the Amber Acolytes. And though Aali is quite good, if you don't have any like of this going on, you may as well just like tap it and just draw some cards. Anyway, that's enough of talking about it. Let's get onto the ladder and see what this deck can do. Okay, well, straight redraw. We're also playing the Grodov Stranger in here. That's sort of like a Mystic Ascendant split card. Well, if our opponent is playing things that can be silenced, then we are doing okay here. I will keep this. I believe we're on the play. So we do generally want to be on the play because we are a rampy control deck. Oh, we're on the draw, actually. Okay, we're playing against flyers. Well, we are going to get to take flyers out of the sky, so maybe we are doing okay. Our Aalies are going to be remaining 1/1s for now. Okay, well, Wild Cloud Snake is something that is worth taking out of the air, but we can't do it quite yet. I guess this is probably going to be like a 2-2 by the time we get to it, but it'll be 2-2 on the ground, which is a lot less aggressive. And what's really nice here is that if our opponent plays a Daring Griff, then we do have the option to be able to silence it here. Okay, well, this is fine. We're taking fruit, which is fine. Our opponent's had to like proactively make a play here, which I'm kind of fine with realistically. We are just going to silence this though. You don't really care about the deadly here. It's mostly relevant. I'd just much rather our opponent doesn't like draw the Humbug Swarm and just turn this into like a 5/5 monster. So the opponent's deck is still a playable deck. There were some aggressive nerfs to it. Okay, well, we weren't blocking anyway, so this is fine. I think our straightforward play here is just going to be to get down the Amber Acolyte. We'll be grabbing a Justice Saucer. I'm very happy to make a block here if we have to. So these can run out of, not gas per se, but they can run out of targets if our opponent does go wild with like the buff. Oh, okay. Well, Inquiry, nice. So we're just going to make the trade here. This is fine. This does make weapons and weapons and spells cost 1 more, which within the Heed's Distillation we can sort of get around that. I think we do want to ramp though. So in the air we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think this is fine. If our opponent plays the Anthem, that is a lot more. We're going to be taking 8 instead. Okay, well, we're now taking 5. If our opponent plays a ramp spell, we're taking a lot more. But maybe, you know, they have to tap out to get damage in here. And then we're just able to land one of our Shen-Ra rules. And then hopefully we should be able to turn the game around from then. Okay, so it looks like our opponent's kind of out of gas here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 in the air still. So I have to make a decision here. Like, do we play Grodov Stranger with the hope that next turn our opponent doesn't play a buff, and with the free cards that we're going to see, that we do see a Shen-Ra rule, because I suspect that our opponent won't really be able to get back from that. Or do we just play 2 of these to take 2 of our opponent's threats out of the sky? I think we take 2 threats out. I think that's just like the safest option. So we'll take out the 1, 2. For the reason being that it gives us back one of our other units, which lets us start to pressure our opponent. And then of these, I would much rather kill the Storm Tamer's Mel. I don't really care if our opponent puts like power into play, like they've got 1 card in hand. Much rather we do this. I'm going to attack for 5 just to start pressuring our opponent. And now at this point we've got the blocks on the ground sorted, and we're taking 3 in the air, which is when we're at 8, you know, it's like a 2-turn clock. Okay, so now definitely a 2-turn clock because we are taking 6 here. Potentially 7 if our opponent had a spell as well. So yeah, it was a really good draw by the opponent there. So this is not a power card. So we can Calibrate here, and Calibrate is probably going to be pretty whiffy for us. Just because the only things that can hit are weapons and power. So I guess we're going to try an Ancestral Oasis here and just like hit something. And we get Crack the Earth, which isn't going to help us. Because everything we can fetch is a little bit too late. So I guess we chose unwisely and should have just like played out the Grodov Stranger, but I think we would have just died off the buff anyway. So I guess that's that. It's good to see that that deck is still alive and kicking though. Okay, well, we're on the draw, but we do have like our ramp pieces in place, so I'm... Oops, not redraw. I'm going to keep... just click the wrong button, obviously. So I think I might just bin the Sea Cancers just because it's a little bit slow. And we can just play Crack the Earth, ramp it up, then like turn through, we can play Ancestral Oasis. And we'll probably go and fetch like... Depending on the matchup, we could fetch like Grodov's Burden or the Sauropods. One thing I guess we need to be mindful of is if we were to play against like a dragon deck, that they do have the access in the market to the bargain card, which can kill relics. So having a bunch of like 5 and 8 cost relics can be kind of spooky. So let's just get rid of the Sea Cancers. I think it's, of the bunch, the least exciting. But against like a fellow Armory deck, I am going to fetch the Grodov's Burden for now. And then we get to hit our opponent. I always get to do this. Turn this into a Justice Source. And then I don't want to calibrate or anything, so I'm just going to do that now. We'll calibrate later. If we naturally draw power, we can play Ancestral Oasis and... Oh. Guess I should have calibrated to hit an underplated. I don't really want to take the pain there, and the 2/2 is not super excited against this deck. So the Bury the Past could be quite good for us. I guess we could play this down and trade something out, and then we could just like draw 3 cards on our next turn. But I feel kind of okay realistically. We will just play the Oasis. That puts us up to 7 power. We'll just be one off like using the Spellcraft then, because like card draw engine, just like killing something is pretty impressive, especially if our opponent just like plays a weapon of some variety. Okay, well, Acolyte's good. This will grab us a Justice Source since it's going to draw as much cards, so I do like that. Okay, well, I don't believe that killing it with like a Blazing Salvo does much there. Yeah, this is fine. I guess I need to decide if I put my opponent on having anything that's super spooky here. Like a Shen-Ra, I guess they could do, but they do seem pretty stuck on power, so maybe I'll just go and fetch the Twin Brood Sauropods. Like, yeah, that's fine. Sure, that's fine. I'll go and fetch a Threat, which will give us this back. Actually, I'd rather hit my power drop, so I will just grab Ancient Excavator. Just give him the old, give him the fair. Then we get to draw our Oasis, and if anything actually happens, this will help us get enough power to be able to use like Grodov's Burden, like when we need it. Also, give it a 4/6 Exalted is kind of hot. So opponent is starting to pick up power now. But I'll just attack for 4. I think this is fine. Our opponent could play Wasp, in which case we could have missed out on the Exalted, but I'm kind of fine with this so far. I'm just going to do this. And I think we'll just play the Ancestral Oasis, Justice Sigil. Just ramp us up a little bit. I do like ramp as well because it means that the Decimate cards like Shen-Ra Speaks, we are a little bit freer to do this. So Shen-Ra Speaks as well does have a nice effect against cards like this with Corrupted, because it will turn it off, as it will silence them first. So I kind of wanted Grodov's Burden, but I also don't want to just bounce this because it doesn't seem the greatest. But I guess we will. Yeah, we'll bury the past on that. We'll play this, we'll Decimate, and then we'll just grab a Acolyte out. Let's grab a Time Sigil, just get some balance in the force here. So our opponent is kind of not having a great time with the power, they're just on 4. And yeah, that's probably about correct. We'd get to draw an additional 2 cards a turn, and put any units we find into play off it. Okay, well, we've got ramp pieces plus weapons, which is nice. Influence is not great, and it's a little bit painful with the emblem. But I guess we can keep this because we've also got basically a Valkyrie Enforcer on the ground. But the 9 and 8 cost sort of put me off a little bit, even though we are virtually at 4, just on like turn 3. But yeah, actually, let's redraw that. We can do a little bit better. This isn't perfect. But it does have a Shen-Ra Speak, it's got a bit of a road blocker, and our curve's kind of nice if our opponent is just like playing aggressive dudes or playing kind of slowly, because we can just play like this power to it and then Nahid's Distillation at the next turn, so we get to draw a bunch of cards. Okay, so this could be the Scarecrow Dragons deck that we've been seeing, which is kind of nice. We are sadly probably going to be playing a 1-1 next turn to turn off like a whelp or something. Okay, like an actual Geneb deck. Well, no point to play this. We will grab the... Let's just check our market. None of this costs triple. Yeah, the Grodov's Burden does. Okay, so let's grab a 3rd time source, and then we've got 3 of each. Guess that's a consideration I need to think about. I'm just so used to just being always able to play Grodov's Burden because I've just been playing it in... Oh, we're playing against strangers. Okay. Well, I'm kind of fine taking some damage. We take 3 here. Like, potentially our opponent gets to do something else as well next turn, but... You know, we've got a Silencer for just disrupting key pieces. If our opponent plays like another one of these, we can just like vanquish it. But I feel like I'm in kind of good shape here, realistically. Okay, Traverse Farm, a little bit more of a problem. Because it's going to be a bit of an issue for us to try and deal with that. Okay, once our opponent plays another unit, I guess that we just get to kill this. So, I guess we'll Aali now. So, the Aali doesn't last very long in this matchup, I'm going to guess, because she can only silence a unit with 4 power or less. And then I guess we could just play an Emblem of Kodosh. And that does decimate us. It puts us down on power, but it lets us be in a position where we get to kill this, hopefully, pretty much no matter what. We really don't want our opponent getting Triumphant Stranger, is kind of what it's all about. Okay, so Soaring Stranger, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, Siren, that's fine as well. Crack the Earth. Okay, so we can attack with both into this. It doesn't seem super impressive though. I think we are going to draw a... We'll draw a random power. Okay, that's kind of great. It sets us up. Okay, so if our opponent goes to attack here, we do get to Wasp it down. Attacking into both doesn't really do much. It just pops this. If our opponent boosts here, then we get to vanquish it. So that seems kind of okay. I guess we're actually fine, because if our opponent gets the Triumphant Stranger, yeah, they're not attacking here, so yeah, as they get Triumphant Stranger, I guess we will just like Shen-Ra Speaks. So what can we fetch here that's good? And there's not really anything that I want there, to be honest, so let's just Seek Answers. And we will hit, I think this time we're going to draw a random non-power, just because we've got like the additional 2 lined up. That's fantastic news. So we do have a Shen-Ra Speaks here. So we get to hold up like the Wasp or the Crack the Earth. Now this is a problem if it's able to survive. So if our opponent's playing any unseals, well, any sort of negate effect, Ah, okay. Plus, just playing the second Traverse Farm here. Just reuniting. So it isn't really going to be easy for us to get in and attack on this, sadly. Okay, maybe this is okay then. Yeah, so we'll just Wasp it. So that'll remove the flying from our opponent's units. And then we should be able to sort of start pressuring this now. So if we play this, goes us to 7, then we go to 8. If we draw an additional power, we're able to, like the Ageworn Vestige if we really need to. I guess our opponent's just going to get a random stranger. Okay, just this one, that's fine. There are some busted ones you can hit with that. Like, it can even hit copies of itself, which is kind of spooky. I should have been, I should have maybe considered what happens as well. If our opponent lost a stranger, because I actually made this small enough where you couldn't vanquish it, because that was one of my thoughts. I guess we're just going to save some lives. Yeah, we'll save some lives. Okay, well, we'll attack here. Okay, so it's us with a fast spell, I'll say. So just to do the old the sniff test, which is something we've probably not heard of for a little while. Okay, so opponent's got a fast spell here, I think. Okay, no they've not. Okay, so draw a random power, and the reason we do that is because if this fails this turn, we want to try and do it again next turn. So I'm not going to silence everything, just going to play it. So now opponent's got like, 5 cards in hand, which is reasonable, but they do need to be attacking us to actually kill us. And we've gone through 2 of the sites, so most of the 2 should be gone. So Grodov Stranger, obviously very good, but we were able to clean it up with a Vanquish here. Would kind of like if our opponent went off a little bit and started to play some more things. Okay, so that's not happened, so we will just crack the earth here. Because the opponent does have a fast spell. Well, let's Grodov's Burden. And then we can just tuck this, and then we'll have like our card draw engine in play. Okay, well that's nice. We've got a Pillar of Progress if we need it soon. Yeah, we're going to bury the past here. I'm sure Paul's got some sort of fast spell here that can actually do something, but maybe it's like a Seer or something. Sadly, not enough power to be able to use the Ark of Sol, but I guess we don't need to at this point. Okay. So, Strange Gladiator is a little bit on the spooky side. Right, blue power. Grodov's Burden. Rats. Well, it's not quite a 2-for-1. Well, let's calibrate and see what we've got exactly. Okay, so our opponent doesn't have a fast spell. It's just like our connection is not great. So we will take a Sword of Sky King. I'm just going to do a Pillar of Progress. Attack. See if they take it. Oh, yeah. So I kind of want to play Ark of Sol, but we probably shouldn't. We should just like play Shen-Ra Speaks and just kill everything. The nice thing is, though, if we find another one of our Crack the Earths, so I think we've gone through 2. We've gone through 1. Okay, well, just donger them for 8. Is if we draw one of our Crack the Earths, we're able to get Ancient Excavator, which can get us back the Grodov's Burden. Guess for that reason, I'm trying to play the power, but okay, well, this stranger probably just could be saving our opponent some lives. But I guess now it's sort of elementary. We're just going to be chewing through our opponent's threats. Just like an absolute embarrassment of riches. if they play anything big, we get to hit them. They will just be on a 2-turn clock then. And if we ever hit them once with the Sword of the Sky King, put them down to... Okay, I guess we're just going to keep attacking here. Keep that in hand just as like market fodder. But yeah, if they play something big, we get to vanquish it and hit them, and then we're at the point where if we ever get to do this, like, we just get to kill them pretty quickly. I guess they've killed our thing, which is a little bit on the not great side. I guess we will play this power. Try and attack it for 2. Like, they might lay it in. Okay, well, guess we are just doing this then. Just like Spellcraft Recut Ties is a card I would be happy to play with. And you see here, we're attacking for 5, and our opponent's basically going to struggle to try and come back out of this now. Like, they get to play things like this that just buy them time, but they're not making any actual inroads against us. I guess we could just Shen-Ra Speaks just to get him for 5, and then they're dead next turn no matter what. Yeah, it's kind of rough for the opponent. But I guess that's what happens when you're playing against synergy-based decks and you're just playing like so many sweepers. Hey, Boxer! Okay, well, straight redraw. We do have like a ramp spell, but it's probably not enough to get us anywhere. And probably should have gone at 6, but we can keep this just to try. If we do draw like a oh, nice card back. If we do draw a whatever this market card's called, we do get to ramp up and perhaps play them. So Boxer's probably playing some sort of nonsense sacrifice deck. Oh, the Praxis thing. Okay, well, let's draw a non-power just because we do have like a lot of ramp here. Crack the fantastic. So we get to, I guess, play that out. Probably going to trade one of these. Oh, even better. Yeah, grab this. That seems good. And then we're able to ramp up. So if Box is playing like some sort of Praxis Stranger's deck, then hopefully ramping out like a big Ageworn Vestige will probably be pretty good. Okay, well, actually no. I kind of much rather block here, even if it means that they get to put the Exalted Weapon onto something else. I guess us protecting ourselves for 2 is kind of better. Oh, then it heeds Distillation, rats. Well, let's just play another one. Guess because that goes us up, we can kind of we can be happy to play a Decimate here. Well, I guess we can get away with it. We can go and fetch. Oh, is there like a cultist sub-theme here? Guess we don't need the third one of these, so let's grab a Grodov's Burden. Let's just tuck that. I guess we could have took the additional power, but try and get in with this. We're playing Decimate because we are going to get the power back anyway. And then we will sacrifice the 2-1. And we'll, yeah, put on the Cultist. And then we'll fetch Justice. Puts up to 9 next turn, so if we really need it, we can do this, but I'm not sure if we will need to. Probably just going to like start activating Burden. Okay, well, Boxer is up to some sort of stranger nonsense, I guess. Well, let's just keep attacking. We are just going to Sword of the Sky King that. And then now, if our opponent deals with any of this, but we're able to get it back just because we are planning on cracking the earth and fetching an excavator. Okay, that seems fine. Now, whose void are they choosing? Because that matters a lot. Okay, that's good for me. They do get to put like more Nahid's Distillations in the deck, but yes, it's fine. Go to this and grab Excavator. It's just a big old boy. And I guess we... Sadly, I'm not getting to do too much with the Sword of the Sky King here. So, I suppose we Vestige. Oops. Yeah, we will Vestige just because I don't want them to just keep doing this. Harsh will let down, like, tickle our opponent for free. Which is a lot less exciting than just, like, donging him for 8. But our opponent does have a lot of cards here now. So I am going to go and fetch. I'm just going to go and fetch Grodov's Burden. But I am going to keep it in hand. Because we will be using it as a removal spell. With the intention of just, like, drawing out later. So, Grodov's good here. But if there is another killer effect, we will just be using Scorpion Wasp. Yeah, that's fine. We only had 7 in play, but yeah, the writing's on the wall. We've fetched our removal spell, so we were just like definitely getting in again. Okay, so there you have it. The deck seems kind of cool. I'm not sure whether it's you know, tier 2 or better, but it doesn't really matter. We're here for some fun. It's the end of the month. So I do like these Armory decks, and I like that Expedition being kind of like a weaker power format means that you can, you know, you can get away with playing these kind of niche decks that have got like one particular strategy. So one of the weaknesses is definitely the market just is a bit stinky. I mean, everything costs 5, which means that aside from being really situational cards, they're also quite expensive, so it's very difficult to get like a double spell turn. Whereas with like a Blazing Salvo, you get to pay 1 to kill one thing and then draw like a 2-drop thing, which is either like a threat you can put into play or another removal spell or some sort of interaction. Whereas this is just like a 6 cost over like maybe 1 or 2 turns, which is a little bit less on the exciting side for me because, yeah, they're all just like big whammies. Although, I can see long games, like all of these are really good. It's just actually getting to that point. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm That Resolves, and I will see you around.